I'm back. Now, this is for Module 5, the rise of global corporations. Now, before I start, no, in this module kasi, dito papasok yung isa sa mga major requirements sa papagawa ko. Now, doon sa major requirements sa papagawa ko, it will be just on the module na lang and it's for you to find out kung ano yung papagawa ko. Okay, so let's proceed. Bang. Now, the globalization is a business initiative based on the belief that the world is becoming more and more homogeneous and that distinction between national markets are not only fading, but for some products will eventually disappear. As a result, companies need to globalize their international strategy by formulating it across the market to take advantage of underlying markets, cost, and environmental competitive factors. Okay, once a firm had made the decisions to compete in the global environment, it subjects itself to pressure single country firms often do not experience. Single country firms normally operates in a relatively homogeneous market for their products and services. Okay. Consequently, no, product designs and production can often fairly standardize, allowing the firm to achieve economies of scale in production and deliver products that appeal to its entire market. Furthermore, strictly domestic firms typically don't have to concern themselves with differences in the industry and trade regulations from other countries. Okay. So global corporations, in contrast, often faces a trade-off between seeking a competitive advantage through lower production costs that global economies of scale and seeking competitive advantages by tailoring the products to specific national markets, foregoing economies of scale but providing a product more tailored to local taste. Now, furthermore, the global firm must determine how to balance the demands and practices of other countries. So the key presence in global market, uh, presence in key global market. Now, there, this is what they call the triad. No? The United States, Japan, and Western Europe account for about half of the world's total consumptions. So, when you say triad, ito kasi yung key major markets, no? Wala pa yung China dito. Now, they share certain important economic and demographic conditions such as high income levels and high GNP values. So, it has been argued by OME that a firm cannot truly compete on a global scale if it is not present in this triad. So you have United States, Japan, and the Western Europe. Okay, if a firm does not have a operations in all three areas of the triad, it may not be able to achieve maximum economies of scale. Furthermore, since three areas are often source of technological and product innovations, a firm not present in all the triads or areas would have difficulty keeping abreast of technological development in its industry. Okay, the competitive strategies of global corporation. Una, cost leadership. In cost leadership, a firm sets out to become the low-cost producer in its industry. The sources of cost advantage are varied and depends on the structures of the industry. They may include the pursuit of economics of scale, proprietary technology, preferential access to raw materials, and other factors. Pangalawa, before that, a low-cost producer must find and exploit all the sources of cost advantage. If a firm can achieve and sustain overall cost leadership, then it will be an above average performer in its industry, provided it can command prices or at or near the industry average. Then you have the differentiation. In differentiation strategy, a firm seeks to be unique in its industry along some dimensions that are widely valued by buyers. It selects one or more attributes that many buyers in an industry perceive as important and uniquely positions itself to meet those needs. It is rewarded for its uniqueness with a premium price. Focus. So there are two types of focus dito. But first, let's define this one. The generic strategy of focus rests on the choice of a narrow competitive scope within the industry. So the focuser selects a segment or a group of segments in the industry and tailors its strategy to serving them to the exclusion of others. So the focus strategy has two variants. Yun nga, sinasabi ko. Dalawang variants. In cost focus, a firm seeks to a cost advantage in its target segments. While in differentiation focus, a firm seeks differentiation in its target segment. Both variants of the focus strategy rest on the differences between a focuser's target segment and other segments in the industry. So, now let's focus on the globalization drivers. Una is market factors. The world customer today, identified by Ernst Dichter more than 30 years ago, has gained new meaning today. For example, according to Kenichi Ome, identified it has identified a new group of consumers emerging in the triad of North America, Europe, and Japan, whom marketers can treat as a single market with the same spending habits. Okay. Approximately over 600 million consumers have similar educational background, income levels, lifestyles, use of leisure time, and aspirations. One reason given for the income levels in their demand is a level of purchasing power or 10 times greater than of LDCs or NICs. That translates into higher diffusion rates for a certain product. So cost factor. Avoiding cost inefficiencies and duplications of efforts are two of the most powerful globalization drivers. Excuse me lang. Okay. A single country approach may not be large enough for the local business to achieve all possible economies of scale and scope as well as synergies, especially given the dramatic changes in the marketplace. Then, for example, pharmaceuticals in the 1970s. Developing a new drug cost about $16 million and took 4 years to develop. The drug could be produced in the United Kingdom and United States, eventually exported. Now, sa panahon ngayon, developing a drug cost from 250 to 500 million dollars and takes as long as 12 years with competitive efforts close behind. Now, let's say, for example, no, right now, every countries or top pharmaceutical countries are now producing a drug or a vaccine for the novel coronavirus. Just think about this. If the novel coronavirus happens, of course, they're now looking for cure. And right now, nagmamadali sila para mas mabilis nila mapahinto yung mismong virus. Now, honestly speaking, no, it would take them, as here would say, 12 years and it will cost about more than just $500 million. Maybe abot pa ng billions. Kasi they are putting all efforts in developing a vaccine or a drug just to cure the novel coronavirus. So if you're expecting for a vaccine or a medicine right now, hindi pa ito yung panahon para mag-expect, no? Kasi yun nga, if they're still developing, it would take them 3 to 4 years or at least as long as 12 years to develop. No? Kasi marami pa yung trials, clinical trials, marami pa yung observation. Hindi yung agad-agad makaka-develop ng isang ganunan lang. It would take them several years to develop a vaccine. Okay. Sabihin natin ganito. Are there any cures right now or medicine right now to prevent the human immunodeficient, the HIV/AIDS? Wala pa, di ba? Until now. From the time it was discovered until the present day na kumakalat na rin yung HIV/AIDS, until now, wala pa rin nade-develop na vaccine. Unless kung meron ng pansamantala. Pero right now, wala pa rin. Another one, cure for cancer. Sa ngayon, syempre, chemotherapy and other, How about yung di ba? Wala pa rin nade-develop na cure for cancer. Hanggang ngayon, they're still testing and testing and testing kung paano nila ma-prevent yung cancer in just a simple medicine. No? So, ganun katagal when it comes to pharmaceutical companies. So, don't expect right now na agad-agad ma-develop ang vaccine for COVID-19 this year. Kasi it would take them months, years, and even decades para lang ma-develop. So right now, the thing that we should do right now is, of course, to prevent lang or be careful. Okay. Environmental. As the world market is going global, government barriers have fallen dramatically in the last years to further facilitate the globalization of markets and the activities of global corporations with them. Okay. Competitive factors. Many global corporations are already dominated by global competitors that are trying to take advantage of the three sets of factors mentioned earlier. To remain competitive, the company may have be able to be the first to do something or to be able to match or preempt competitors' move. So the functions of global corporations, international companies are importers and exporters typically without the investment outside of their home country. Multinational corporations have investments in other countries but do not have coordinated products offering in each country. They are more focused on adapting their products and services to each individual's local market. So parang ganun nga, no? For example nga, yung McDonald's, yung diniscuss ko in the previous video. Magkaiba yung McDonald's sa United States at sa Pilipinas. So magkakaiba sila ng variants. No, kasi depende rin sa taste ng tao. So global companies have invested in and are present in many countries. They typically market their products and services to each individual local markets. Transnational companies are more complex organizations which have invested in foreign operations, have a central corporate facility, but decision-making, research and development, or R&D, and marketing powers to each individual foreign markets. Excuse me. So, structural periods of global corporations. Let's take a little history. Investment-based globalization that happens on 1950 to 1970. Excuse me. The investment-based period was dominated by producer-driven commodity or value chains, which in turn tended to be more dominated by firms, characterized by large amount of concentrated capital focused on large-scale or capital-intensive manufacturing or extractive industries. So trade-based globalization that happened from 1970 to 1995. So the trade base was due to the emergence of Japan as a major producer nation, especially of automobiles and consumer electronics from 1970s onwards. This brought to the scene new models of effective production, focused especially on quality and regimes, or flexible productions, which prompted the European firms to rejoin the global commodity chains. Now, Digital globalization. Digital globalization has affected the entire structure of how global corporations operate. The integrated of corporate structure reducing the effect of time and distance, especially for services performed within the corporate structures such as design, finance and accounting, and advertising and brand development, legal services, inventory, controls, etc. Now, here on the next slide, I'm gonna show you some emerging global corporations. No? That is right now on the global market. Okay, unahin na natin yung basic element ng Russia. Ang basic element sa Russia, it is a world leader in alumina products. Then you have Bharat Forge, which is one of the world's largest forging companies. Then you have the BYD from China, I mean. It is the world's manufacturer of nickel cadmium batteries. You have also the Cemex from Mexico. It has developed into world's largest cement products. Okay. Then you have the CIMC or the China International Marine Containers Group. It is the world's largest manufacturing of shipping containers. And Costco, also from China, is one of the largest shipping companies in the world. Embraer for Brazil, it has surpassed Canada's Bombardier as market leader in regional jets. You have Galans from China. It has 45% share of the European and has 25% of the US microwave market. You also have the Hisense from China. It is the number one supplier of flat panel TVs to France. And I think dito sa Pilipinas, meron na ring Hisense na mga TV, no? So, hindi lang siya sa France nagsusupply, but also in the Philippines or worldwide na yata. Then you have the Johnson Electric, also from China. It is the world's leading manufacturer of small electronic motors. And the NEMAC from Mexico, one of the world's leading suppliers of cylinder heads, yung ano sa piston, no? And blocking casings for the automotive industry. Yung sa piston sa makina ng kotse, dun yun, cylinder heads. Then you have Sistema from Russia. It's a conglomerate with a focus on telecommunications. You also have Tata Chemicals from India. Yan. Is an inorganic chemical producer with a significant global market from shares from soda ash. Then you have the Wipro from India also. It is the world's largest third-party engineering services company and others. Now, so for your one of my requirements here is each of you guys under my subject will be given individually a company, no? And you're going to have a research on that. So the details will be provided on the module itself, and that will be one of your requirements, major requirements in this subject. No? So I'll just put in the details sa inyong module, and then it will be the instructions will be there, and yun na yung mangyayari. No? So that's for the part 1. Actually, this is 2 parts, no? This is just the part 1. And then the part 2, we will be discussing the multinational corporations, which is also a part of the module 2, module 5, no? We will be talking about the companies itself. So, I'll see you on the next video, the second part. And thanks for watching. I hope I just hope you subscribe to my channel, and please press the subscribe button, and yun nga, yung press the notification bell for more details. Okay, so I'll see you on the next video.